nous nous engageons à vous offrir le meilleur. Pour vous, nous ne cesserons jamais d'innover pour toujours mieux vous servir.
From Central to North Africa, you were tuned to G24, and guess what? You made the right choice. Thanks for joining us and welcome. As usual, we are here for 13 minutes of information from Gabon, Africa, and the world. But first, let's have a quick look at the summary. In Gabon, the authorities announced 10.6% of population vaccinated in 7 months. Facing the press, the Minister of Health welcomes the population's commitment to the vaccination process. Continuation and no end in the Thomas Sankara case in Burkina Faso. General Gilbert Diendéré, one of the main defendants, pleaded not guilty to all the 4 counts. You want more details? Stay tuned. I'll be back just after the jingle. We open in Burkina Faso talking about Justice General Gilbert Diendéré, one of the main defendants, along with Blaise Compaoré, in the trials for the assassination of the father of the Burkinabe Revolution, Thomas Sankara, pleaded not guilty this Tuesday before the military court in Ouagadougou. Let's have the details. General Gilbert Diendéré pleaded not guilty this Tuesday, November 9th, before the military court in Ouagadougou, where he is on trial with 13 other people, including former President Blaise Compaoré, for the murder of former President of Burkina Faso, Thomas Sankara, on the 15th October 1987. The general, being one of the main heads of the army during the coup of 1987, stated, we quote, "For all these 4 charges, I plead not guilty," declaring at the bar prosecuted for attack to the state security, complicity in assassinations, concealment of corpses, and subordination of witnesses. About the day of the murder, he explained that he went in the afternoon to the sports field of the headquarters of the military command of the National Revolutionary Council when he heard gunshots. After speaking with 2 soldiers he knew, they claimed they took the initiative to prevent Thomas Sankara from arresting their boss, Blaise Compaoré. Sankara's former right-hand man, Blaise Compaoré, seized power after the 15th of October coup. He is being prosecuted for the same charges as Gilbert Diendéré and is suspected of having ordered the assassination, facts he has always denied. A version corroborated by Gilbert Diendéré relating his conversation with the 2 soldiers. According to him, Blaise Compaoré did not arrive on the scene until the end of the afternoon, 3 hours after the attack. Driven from power in 2014 by the street, Blaise Compaoré, the great absentee of this trial, lives in exile in Côte d'Ivoire. As for Gilbert Diendéré, he is already in detention and is serving 20-year prison sentence for an attempted coup in 2015. Also, the European Union, in short EU, on Monday announced its support for the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, in its conflict with members of Mali's ruling government and threatened sanctions against them. The details are given by Yana Kenenge.
The European Union is preparing targeted sanctions on Mali's leadership following a similar move by the Economic Community of West African States. The French minister reported on Monday. Over the weekend, sanctions were already slapped on Malian authorities after coming to power through a coup in 2020. This decision followed the conclusion of the Foreign Affairs Council on October 18, 2021, and the European Union is currently working on the possibility to adopt restrictive measures in support of efforts made by the ECOWAS against those leading the transition. The EU Foreign Affairs Council is expected to discuss the matter further on November 15th of this year. Mali has experienced 2 military coups over the past 2 years. The first coup, which took place in August 2020, resulted in the ousting of former President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta and the appointment of Banda as interim president. Though ECOWAS keeps on pressing Mali to respect its commitment to hold a general election next February, the Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation regrets the decision taken at this summit, which is not considering the deep aspirations of the people of Mali, and as it was published in the statement issued on Monday by the authorities. The ECOWAS summit, which was attended by leaders from 13 countries, also called on the African Union, the United Nations, and the bilateral and other multilateral partners to endorse and support the implementation of these sanctions.
In health, the Gabonese authorities announced 10% of population vaccinated in 7 months. Facing the press, the Minister of Health welcomes the population's commitment to the vaccination process. Let's listen to him.
With an immunization coverage of 10.6% at a time when the global immunization rate against COVID-19 in Africa is around 3%, our country has surpassed the bar of 10% of immunization coverage set by the World Health Organization by the end of 2021.
In the same line, we talk of this decision taken on Monday night, November 8th to 9th. The Competition Council has finally approved the creation of Sensio Pharmatech, the company producing the Moroccan anti-COVID-19 vaccine. The details with Yana Kenenge.
The creation of this company follows the royal decision to produce a purely Moroccan anti-COVID-19 vaccine. The production of this vaccine from Sensio Pharmatech allowed the country to ensure its vaccine sovereignty, to develop its industrial biotechnological capacities, and to generate jobs. In addition to guaranteeing itself a sufficiency in production of vaccine, the kingdom also intends to position itself as a leading biotechnology platform on the continent in the field of fill and finish industry, which is the process of filling vaccine vials and finishing the process of packaging the medicine for distribution. As a reminder, this project is supervised by the Swedish subcontractor giant Recipharm in accordance with the agreement signed on July 5th. The contract provides the Moroccan government with an aseptic filling facilities at the Moroccan therapeutic company, the Sothema, of the manufacturing of COVID-19 vaccine owner by the Chinese company Sinopharm. In terms of vaccine situation, Morocco is a good example to follow. Of its 37.13 million inhabitants, nearly 4.3 million people have received at least one dose of vaccine in less than 2 months. This figure places it in the top 10 worldwide for numbers of people vaccinated in relation to the number of people inhabiting the country.
On a different note, back to our African traditions, the vernacular languages or mother tongues are factors of identity for a nation or a tribe. Elsewhere, they are considered as the best means of communication or integration, hence the importance of preserving them and instilling them in the young people who are the future. Let's follow up this analysis given by Yana Kenenge once more.
The use of home language tends to disappear in Gabon. Few people still see their vernacular language as valued and still use them. This is the case on a daily basis in homes where the promotion of mother tongues is becoming a very big problem.
It is not only in Africa, even around the world there is a loss in mother tongue practice. When we say our mother tongue, we address the mother. If you don't know how to speak your language, the word mom disappears.
The mother tongue is a primary factor of identity. It is the language of the early childhood and of the family, and it is the first analysis of the world available to human beings. To the question of whether it is possible to preserve our vernacular languages while practicing those odds imposed on us. Cultural and linguistic diversity is essential for sustainable societies, and preserving differences between cultures and languages promotes tolerance and respect for others. Indeed, one can spend one's working life speaking French or English, but at the same time see the world through the language of one first learned. We must encourage the conservation and the defense for all languages spoken by the people of the world, but we must value our own languages first, which is the real translation of our personality. Maintaining one's mother tongue is an asset, whatever the language. It is a thanks to the mastery of one's first language or mother tongue that basics reading, writing, and arithmetic skills can be acquired. It is therefore important that our society understand that cultural and linguistic wealth of a country are assets that, if well used, can lead to sustainable development.
Now, a positive note of sports as Africa shines around and overseas in the world. Kenyan Albert Corey won the 50th edition of the New York Marathon, which brought together 33,000 runners this weekend in the United States. The athlete reached the finish line in 2 hours, 8 minutes and 22 seconds. Vanessa Togo has the hints.
The 50th New York Marathon was a Kenyan affair on Sunday, with Albert Corey and Tokyo Olympic gold medalist Paris Jebchichi winning. Second in the previous edition in 2019, won by his compatriot Geoffrey Kamworor, last year's edition having been cancelled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Albert Corey won in 2 hours, 8 minutes and 22 seconds. He was 44 seconds faster than the Moroccan Mohamed El Arabi and the Italian Eyob Faniel, third, who was relegated to 1 minute 30 seconds and who had been the first to animate the race by breaking away slightly at the 15th kilometer until he had 51 seconds of advance at half distance. The 28-year-old Kenyan, together with his compatriot Kibiwot Kendi, chose at this moment to join El Arabi and Faniek at the 30th kilometer and to accelerate again without any of his rivals managing to catch him. Among them was Kenenisa Bekele, who was not at the party for his first participation in the prestigious New York event, where he was aiming for nothing less than a victory with the world record for the distance in mind. Aged 39, the Ethiopian middle and long distance legend, triple Olympic gold medalist in the 10,000 meter in 2004 and 2008, in the 500 meter also in 2008, finally finished in the 6th place, even less well than in Berlin a month and a half ago, where he had finished third.
With the permission of our news director Richard Songoma, we review the headlines. Watch. In Gabon, the authorities announced 10.6% of population vaccinated in 7 months. Facing the press, the Minister of Health welcomes the population's commitment to the vaccination process. Continuation and no end in Thomas Sankara case in Burkina Faso. General Gilbert Diendéré, one of the main defendants, pleaded not guilty to all the 4 counts. It's always my pleasure to inform you. Remember, information continues on G24 and our social media. Stay tuned. I'll be back with more news at 10:30 p.m. By the way, Gaël Mapesi serves you in French at 8 p.m. local time. Take care of yourselves, and for now, goodbye.
Anye kindo mano butande anye mukobe be okoni me bane anye kindo mano butande buta benya buto mbete miganye anye unu menyembe chengane duwe yasuna nyuma antambe kana makala kampe na ngongona tetia miunda.
À ce jour, la vaccination reste le seul espoir au retour à une vie normale. Vaccinons-nous.